Okay folks, I'm going to tie another wee pattern for the salmon. I think this might work well for the sea trout and the dolphin as well. This one's called Botham's Fancy. Now, this fly is named after the England cricketer called Ian Botham, and it was tied by Peter O'Reilly as a commemorative pattern. So I'm just going to tie it on a size 12. So the hook and the vise is a size 12 partridge paid double. The thread that I'm going to use off to start the fly, just simply to keep the body as bright as I can, is uni thread 80 in white. So I'm just going to come in and get a couple of turns of thread on behind the eye and remove the waist tag. Now, the tag and the rib on the fly is going to be an oval silver tinsel. The oval silver tinsel I'm using here is a size 14, but it's a small. It's at there. It's a vineyards. Okay. Now, just like to tie my oval silver tinsel in underneath, a couple of turns, bring the oval silver tinsel underneath the hook, and then I'm just going to run my thread down to hang this in. Now I'm just going to bring my thread down. Once I let the bobbin go, the thread slightly past the point of the hook, and then I'm going to come round with 4 turns of the oval silver tinsel, and on the 5th turn bring it up and in between the 2 hooks. Come round with a turn to hold. Now I want to keep this oval silver tinsel in underneath, because I'm going to fold it back on itself to create a rib. So this is going to be a rib. Just bring it the whole way up. Now I'm just going to fold it back, then bring my thread back down over the oval silver tinsel, tied up against the tag at the back. Now, the body on the original pattern was DFM fluorescent green floss. I'm going to use the Glow Bright floss as number 12, this nice green. So I've got on a bobbin holder, so I'm just going to come in, catch in the floss, just pull it in the length of the body. Just use this wee tag part here as a measurement. So just keep it on just where I can see it. Run the thread up to there, then I'm going to come in and whip finish and cast off the white uni thread, because we're going to finish off with black uni thread. Come in, turn that away. Then we'll get our Glow Bright floss, and we'll use this to create our body. Just one touching turns of the Glow Bright floss number 12. We'll just run this up for the body. Just take your time. I'm going to bring it up to there. Now I'm going to come in with my uni thread 801 black, keeping the floss, the Glow Bright floss tight. Just come in a couple of turns up over the top of the Glow Bright floss. I like to keep the Glow Bright floss on the waist tag there, and just come around with a turn just to catch everything in. Now I'll come in with my scissors, remove the Glow Bright floss and the tag, the waist tag of thread at the same time there. Then I can come up with my rib, which is my oval silver, and I'm looking 4 turns of the oval silver tinsel onto the body, up to there, fly across with my thread, 1 turn to hold, a couple of turns to secure. Then I'll come in and just trim away the excess of the oval silver tinsel. Now the wing on the fly. This is grey squirrel tail dyed black. So just need to take a small pinch of the squirrel tail. Just come in and trim it away from the tail. Just take any fluff or rubbish from the bottom. Now I like to stack my squirrel, so I'm just going to put it into the hair stacker here. Tips first. Give us a rattle on my desk. Tips have lined up. Just take it out of the hair stacker. Then the length of the wings up to yourself. It's up to you. I'm just going to have my wing with the tips coming past the bend of the hook. So I'm just going to come in and hold the wing with my finger and thumb. Just going to come in and measure it to there. Just trim the access away over my bin. Come in and get the squirrel tail as close to the shank of the hook as you can. Then just come around with a pinching loop. Then another. Then just a couple of tight turns at this stage, just to hold the squirrel tail in position. Okay, now, if you watch my videos, squirrel tail has a tendency to pull out. So what I like to do is just get a wee lick of super glue on the thread. Then I want to take the super glue down over the cut ends, the squirrel tail, and this will just help to hold the squirrel tail in for you to there. Now on the original pattern there's no flash in the wing, but I'm going to put in 2 strands of green crystal flash. Now probably camera's not probably picking this up, but you'll see it once I put it onto the fly hopefully. So I'm just going to come round, pinch and loop, turn the hold, then I'm going to fold back the waist ends and a couple of turns back over. Come in, trim away the waist ends. Now I'll just moisten them, leave them with for the next fly. And then come in and trim the length of the flash. I like it much the length of the wing. Now there's a bit of a throat tackle on the fly, and it's just light blue. This is just light blue hand hackle. I'm just going to take 2 pinches. It's plenty. And then I'm just going to offer this underneath the hook. Just want to come and touching the tag at the back. Just going to hold up my finger and thumb, pinch and loop up the way. A couple of turns to hold. Now what I like to do is just spin my face round, come in with my fingernail, my thumb, and just spread it out a bit. Just make sure it's spread out across the bottom of the fly. Then I'll come in, nice pair of sharp scissors, just take away the excess again. Then I'll just tie this in, just take my time, just making sure I'm tying it in nice and tight at this point, to make sure it's all tied in. Now this was, as I think I said at the start, this was a commemorative pattern that Peter O'Reilly tied for the visit of Ian Botham. So I'm just going to bring it back into focus for you. There you go. Keeping the thread tight. Just going to come in, whip finishing tool, 2, 3, whip finishes, pull the thread nice and tight, come in, trim away the thread. Now that's the wee pattern. That's it, there's nothing else to it. Now, just to seal everything up, I'll just come in, super glue first onto the head. Don't want this running into the wing, your throat tackle. It'll just ruin the fly. So just take your time, get it right around the head of the fly. And there you go, that's the wee fly finished. So to tie a couple up, we size 12s, use them on the dropper. Might even work on bigger patterns, never face the fly. But like, tie a few up, hopefully get a few fish. There you go.